Betsy, Betsy, Betsy. So when Terra released, it became clear that there was a new pump and thump master in the meta. But I had collectively for months overlooked Betsy, the Wagerin pump and thump master from Heavy Hitters.
A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando.
Hey there, my flesh and blood friends. Welcome back to the channel for another installment of Dice Commando, the Commoner format series on the channel. And today we are talking Pump and Thump Anothos Wagerin Betsy. A lot of different things going on there, but yeah, that's right. Betsy's actually pretty freaking decent in Commoner. Comes with a big ol' armor suite, and she's not only that, she's pretty fun too. So today let's talk about her and the general strategy. Now, I had released a video way back in kind of the early Heavy Hitters days on Wagerin Betsy Anothos. Now, that is what we're playing today, but I do believe that Betsy is best with Anothos, and that's for a couple reasons we'll talk through. Okay, so the big play here is you obviously want to be able to wager with Betsy. That's what she does, right? But being able to overpower these traditional pump and thump cards, right? Thump, concuss, stuff like that, she has that on board. Okay, as long as you can get the wager in, or you either have to get a wager card or make the gold so that you can use her helm, right? And by the way, her helm, pretty darn good, common or legal. Okay, so the reason we're going to be on Anothos is it works really well with money where your mouth is, because off of 2 blues, then what you can do is you can put money where your mouth is, then you can swing Anothos, wagering, and then Betsy on it. Right, so you get the +3, you get Anothos's bump, plus you get Betsy for the overpower. And that's a pretty beefy Anothos swing. It's very hard, especially early, because it's only 3 cards in your hand, only of which you need 1 to be money where your mouth is. You're going to have plenty of blues. So that's pretty cool in of itself, right? And that's just on Anothos. You can still do the pummel thing on Anothos. So you've got very much like fundamentals there as well, even ignoring Betsy. And then you've got pummel plus thump plus concuss, and the whole package. So she's actually pretty well set up for success with Anothos. Now, to be clear, yes, you can use Fist and go Shield if you want to. There's no reason not to. It's just, I firmly believe that the pure value off Anothos because you're going to have to be feeding into it, makes sense to me to get pretty good advantage out of that. So let's go ahead on over to the deck and we can talk through it as we go. So Betsy, of course, right, doing her thing with Anothos. Now, one thing that looks odd in here is Civic Duty, and it's right. You don't really generally want to give your opponent a vigor token, but the 3 trade here is pretty good because what you're going to, Betsy plays pretty aggressive, right? Pump and Thump is an aggressive build. It's not like, it's not as much like a fatigue type build. Okay, we want to go very hard. Now we're going to take some on and off turns to be clear here, because we're going to have to do some setup. But having that extra armor suite, and also remember, because we're in Anothos, we're giving up Braid Buckler, which is 3. So the Civic Duty here does work, plus against Aria, who's one of your weaknesses, you can actually, in some cases, lock her down with the Gadachi thing. Okay, so we are mainboarding Civic Duty. We're on Goliath Gauntlet, of course, which is a pump and thump staple. And then, of course, we're on her Chapeau. Okay, trying to get gold to set up the Chapeau, being able to do the Betsy thing. Now, the 2 cards in here that I absolutely love are Big Bop and Bigger Than Big. Now, these are sister cards, so they both do the same thing. It's an aura that you play for 3, end your turn, but then next turn, your next Guardian attack gets +5, and it lets you wager either a Vigor or a Might. Now, you might say, well, why these 2 and not, Andrew, why not Earthlore Empowerment? I think it's, Earthlore Empowerment. Why not that one? Well, the answer is that these work with any attack, whereas Earthlore Empowerment only works with an action card. Okay, so Earthlore Empowerment's nice. It gives you the discount, the same +5, but it has to be an action card, and if you have to defend, well, then you lose your thing, right? So Big Bot being able to work with Anothos, okay, always have that on board, is pretty strong. And being able to wager that, and perhaps other shenanigans based on what you have in your hand. Okay, and that's Anothos. Just with 1 card, that's Anothos coming in for 9. And obviously, if you can do your other things, well, then it's coming in for more. Okay, so that's why those ones. We're playing Concuss, of course, no surprise there. We're also playing Wage Might, Wage Vigor. We do have Test of Strength as well. It's just really good value. You will win most of your clashes, but not all of them. I mean, clashing is what it is, right? Then we're on Rainbow Thump, because it's that good. We already talked about Money Where Your Mouth Is and just what this card can do for you. I strongly do believe that it's best used with Anothos, but obviously if you have more cards in your hand, you can throw more. That's better. But generally, why wouldn't you like try and arsenal the card or something like that? But hey, you gotta eke out value in this format where you can. We're on Pummel. Obviously, we're on Sync Fate. And then if we go down here, we're obviously in we'll call them the blue sixes because they're not all fours anymore, right? Because we're playing Thunk. One include I do have here is Pint of Strong and Stout. So we have a local player at the Commoner Crawl's been bringing Betsy for a couple months now. He sold me on this card. It's pretty good. I mean, again, with the Go Again, the Might and Vigor, in a lot of cases, it leaves you where you need to be to have the extra left over for Betsy. And then this is my spice include is Lunging Press. I believe this to be, right? You need to land those hits to be able to win your wagers, and then you've got mights and vigors and all that stuff, or your goals as it may be. So Lunging Press it's a sneaky little include in this one. And remember, Pump and Thump, you land those hits, they're discarding cards or something like that. Pretty good. Okay, a little sneaky one from Arsenal. Plus, once they see you've got it, they've always got to be worried about that. Gets in their head. Free pump. Good. Going into the sideboard, we have enough room that we can go Polarity and Oasis because we don't have to worry about poppers. Well, now we're on Oasis and Polarity. So you're actually in a pretty good spot against Runeblades for Polarity, and you're in, you have the Oasis, which will be against Icelander. And then we are on AB3. Okay. So you'll notice the head is what we'll always be running her Shippo. Okay. Against Icelander, you're probably not going to get to do that very often. But just get the value out of it. And again, that's 3 block for you against Icelander. Okay. So that is the list. Fundamentally, you are going to be, when I play this, I end up hammering more than anything else, right? Obviously, there's very good 3/7s in here, right? You've got the Wage Might, the Wage Vigor. They don't defend 3, right? Which kind of stinks. But they get the thing out, and then you can wager and do your thing. Okay. So you have those on board. You can always throw a 3/7. But again, if you can set up a multi, I mean, just to throw it out there, even if you aren't doing even if you're coming in with Anothos and you don't want to do Betsy, if you can line up like Money Where Your Mouth Is, Anothos, and Pummel. Remember, there's no discard on the Pummel if you do the hammer. But think about how much you're coming in for there, right? That's crazy good, right? Crazy good. So the only times you're not going to be going hard, obviously, for the big bop, bigger than big, generally it's going to let you tuck something, defend well, and then come back to big turn. So anyway, this is my Betsy deck. Enjoy it. The list is below. Have some fun with it. Again, be patient on it, but hit the gas, right? Go face. Because once you hit, in many of these cases, you're driving cards out of their hand. So that's what you want to do, right? Go face and pump and thump. Get your setup and go big. Have fun and go commando.